What's up, guys? How we doing? It is the Friday night hangout, and we got the camera officially for those people that did not see, Tuesday before, but or I guess this past Tuesday. But yes, the camera is here. I saw some of those comments. But shout out to everybody in the chat. How we doing? Hit the like button on your way in, or if you haven't already, appreciate it. We are on the road to, I guess, 100,000 subs. We hit 75,000, and we're still going to give away the Isaiah Rodgers helmet, but it just, has not been claimed, unfortunately. Mr. Bush on Kush did not claim it. So, unfortunately, we're going to have to give it away to somebody else. So, it'll be during the live stream here. I'm going to give a little bit of time for people to trickle on in. I'm thinking, I don't know, like 9:30 p.m. Eastern time-ish, something like that. But, yes, we will give it to someone, despite what people may believe, that the spinner is telling them that they want it. That's not exactly how this thing works. But appreciate you guys. Hopefully you're having a great Friday. Have a great weekend. I will say, prayers and thoughts out to everyone affected by the hurricane. I was looking at a little bit of the details, I think, earlier, and I believe it was like 40 people dead and like 5 million people without power. So, a lot more important things than football and everything else. So first off, prayers to that. But definitely, as we look forward into the Eagles game, going to talk about matchups, injuries, get into everything else. I've got to also just start out with a member giveaway too, because shout out to you members. You guys are the real OGs, being there for the longest time. And as I mentioned, if you're a member of the channel, then you get the exclusiveness to the tickets and the ticket giveaways, because we do some for just subscribers, get support that way, but also for the members. So this one is just specific for members. And I believe I have it ready. Let's make sure. And I can spin this wheel here. Everybody's going to have, let's see if I can get it full screen. That would be kind of nice. There we go. All right, I'm going to screen share. Good luck to the members. This is everybody, and it's also based on the level and tier of membership plus how long, or multiplied by how long you've been a member. So, best of luck to you. We do those. This is the first one officially of the season. We're going to have several. And let's see. Spin the wheel. One person's going to win 2 Eagles tickets to any game of your choice. And which one will it be? It is, well, if it's going to tell me. Tequila Lester. Let's go. Congratulations. Tequila, you've won. Literally was just on the Hungry Dogs call. What are the odds of that? And look at all the names. Again, you guys are the GOATs. Appreciate all the memberships. But Tequila, congratulations. Just, I'm pretty sure that I have the email, but if not, the Philly Special Show at gmail.com. Just email me there. You pick whatever game you want it to be. If, heck, it could be this weekend, I suppose, if you wanted to, but whatever game. So you let me know. Appreciate the membership, the support, and everything else. And for everyone else, also members, it's we do these quite a bit for the members, so you're gonna have a chance. Also, later on in the show, there's going to be another drawing for Eagles tickets, and that one will be for any subscribers. You don't have to be a member for that one. That was from just the previous video that I did, which I'm sure that a lot of you guys remember. But anyway, that's where we're at. Congratulations again to Tequila. Also, I do have to quickly mention this because the reason that we can do so many giveaways is due to the sponsor, the official sponsor of the Philly Special Show. So Underdog, shout out to them. Use the QR code and the promo code Philly Special if you want to sign up for Underdog. And then also, we got, as far as, using Underdog, I know that I've people, where it's only available in certain states, but if it is available to you, or heck, if you're going to the Tampa game, it's available in Florida, but you make some picks, some selections, you can win up to 1,000 times your money. Like I say, available in 33 states. They are working on Philly, in Jersey, Ohio. There's several others they're trying to get into. Eventually, hopefully they will have that, but nonetheless, that's where we're at the moment. So appreciate them, appreciate for all the giveaways and everything else, because it definitely helps. But again, code Philly Special, use the QR code, or just a link down in the description. Either way, and congratulations again to Tequila Lester. So I've got to get to these as well, because Maxwell is going off right now, looks like. I think I missed some of these, but congratulations to people getting memberships. Maxwell with the 10 bomb of memberships, and then following up with 5 more. So there are 15 additional people that got memberships. Unfortunately, You did not win this go around, but you will have it for another one as well. So we're going to do those. Jeremy Hampton, welcome to the Let's Run It membership tier. There you go. Heck yeah. And let's see. I'm just catching up here on some of these comments too because we're going through that. Did I miss Tequila's comment? Because she was on the stream before, on the Zoom call. Maybe not. I'm sure she's going to show up because she was here briefly. But like I say, lots to get into. Doing the other giveaways, which will be later. But also, we should have Anthony DiBona swing by because he is free tonight, move around some schedule. So we're going to get him on at some point. Let's see. There we go. Just making sure. Just double checking. Also, Jerry with a super chat. Appreciate that. Says, oh, hang on. There we go. Go Birds, bleed green for life. Do you think Lane and AJ are going to play or sit it out? Hashtag let's run it. There you go. I do appreciate that. I believe Frank from Philly. Guess I have to level up my subscription or something. There are a lot of names. There's only so many that can win, but we will have more. As far as AJ and Lane, I don't know. That's one that's will be interesting because they both got in a limited practice. And Kramer, I appreciate the happy belated birthday, by the way, too. It's 32. 32 felt kind of crazy. Strange to say that. But they got limited practices going back to AJ and Lane. And the fact that they were... Lane's not officially out of concussion protocol, I think, based on what Zach Berman and several others were saying. Tequila, I'm seeing you, by the way. Okay, good. Yes, you won. Just email me, thephillyspecialshow@gmail.com. We have the other giveaways later for those people asking. But Lane's not officially out or out of the concussion protocol, so I'm kind of leaning towards maybe no. It's not impossible, but at the same time, I would have liked to see him fully clear. He did get a helmet, He had limited practice, and it's I don't know. AJ's, he also got limited practice. I think there's a chance. I'm very leery of do you get him out there too quickly and re-injure the hamstring? You got to imagine if he does play, okay, he's fine, right? There's no concerns with that because they're going to manage this as, I don't know, smartly as they can, especially with the way that hamstrings are and the fact that you have a bye week next week. So let's not rush it. But I don't know. At the end of the day, if I had to guess as of right now, I still would probably lean towards Lane and I'd probably say Lane and AJ being out. I don't know. People think that they're going to play. What would you say if you're predicting Lane and or AJ? What are you going with? Let me know in the comments. And too, like I say, we're getting Anthony to join here. There's others as well. Are we going to see Isaiah Rodgers? Are we going to see Devin White? Will it be another inactive situation? Because that's one that's just totally strange. Also, Hassan Reddick news, which, appreciate the super chat here. Dylan, the 5, thanks for that, said, what's the Hassan news? Been at work all day and saw Thomas posted a video. Yeah, we can talk about that. As far as Hassan Reddick, so the news basically is, I think it's Rich Sminnie from ESPN was on his own podcast, if I'm not mistaken, was talking about Hassan Reddick and the fact that he would not be opposed to returning to Philly. So and he said that in a way that's more, I don't know, seeming like he's able to, or seeming like he's reading between the lines and not as much of an official report. I don't know, because you could say, okay, yeah, of course he wants to be able to come back and play for somebody, anybody. The grass is always greener, except it wasn't this time in New Jersey or New York Jets. You could go both ways with it, but I think at the end of the day, it's speculation of, well, hey, Hassan Reddick wouldn't be opposed because he's not playing here and the Jets aren't going to pay him. So at this point, why don't I just go back to Philly if and when they would need me or have me? But the same thing for Bryce Huff, and many said that also, that Huff was not producing, but his argument was that he's not being used in the best way. and that Fangio and company are totally botching the situation with his talent because he is talented. So the thought would be to trade Huff, kind of like a swap back, I guess, a Bryce Huff trade for a Hassan Reddick and make that work. But it's speculation, it's rumor, it's hearsay. There's nothing official. Is it impossible that a trade happens? No, but I still am on the side of like it seems very unlikely that we're going to get a Hassan Reddick trade for a couple of the reasons. But Howie made the decision to pass on it. If you go 2 or 3 more weeks and you're still not getting anything, and we're getting close to the trade deadline, maybe you work something out at that point. But even still, assuming you trade Bryce Huff, then you start talking about dead money and the way that affects the cap. So I don't know. I don't want to be like, I'm trying to be optimistic normally, but I don't want to be too pessimistic about that. I just don't envision that as being legit, real possibility for Hassan Reddick. But nonetheless, when a Hassan Reddick is not opposed to going back, a rumor gets started, or someone who actually, trying to speculate, I guess, what all of us could assume, then sometimes that'll take hold, considering the fact that we still do need a better pass rush. So that's where that's at anyway. So in terms of, being at work, not knowing officially, there you go. That's the update on Hassan Reddick. What's going on? I do appreciate all the birthday wishes as well. I'm seeing those comments. Robert Cole, welcome to the Let's Run It membership tier. I think I missed that one too. I saw the other one. Or was there someone else? Did I get it Robert, or Robert Coleman, excuse me. Was there somebody else, or I think that's it. Apologies if I missed somebody. These comments get out of hand sometimes. You guys are the best, but I mean, they just start flying down, and then whenever I miss it and I'm talking about something else, then we get off on a tangent. So Ace is saying, they're going to want so much back for Reddick. Yeah, they're not going to give him away for free. There's no way in my mind that Joe Douglas would be like, hey, let's do another losing trade. We already had to get rid of our 3rd round draft pick. So sure, we'll give you Reddick. Well, even if they tried to make something work, it's like they're not going to give exactly what they had back. I can't imagine that's going to be that type of scenario. But Maxwell with a 50 bomb. Are you kidding me? 50 Philly Special Show memberships. There you go. Well, congratulations to everyone else. You've been gifted a Philly Special Show membership, which, I mean, there you go. Thank you, Max. You say happy birthday. Well, thank you. Thank you for that. I very much appreciated. I'm sure everyone else does too, because that gets them into the next member ticket giveaway that we do, which will be, I'm thinking probably like the last of the month, every last Friday of the month, I'll probably start doing like a member ticket giveaway. So it's 2 tickets, any Eagles game of your choice, and you have to be a member of the channel because, again, you guys are the extra support there. I still will do the ones occasionally for subscribers, so you're not missing out if you don't want to pay, you can't afford it. Like, I'm not doing it exclusively for that, but again, just the support that you guys bring. So, wow, 50 bomb. Let's go. People are like going crazy here in the chat. I am too. Like, did not expect that one, but let's go. Wow. Okay. Well, yeah. So, and again, also with the comments as well, there's more giveaways that I'll be doing here probably about 9:30 p.m. Eastern. So people asking who was gifted the membership. If you were gifted, it's totally random for the algorithm. So it just goes any subscriber of the channel, is from what I understood. I used to think it was people that are hanging out during the live stream, but apparently not. It goes to people that sometimes are on and sometimes are not, and it just randomly chooses. So there's 50 that just got those, but that's where you're at. Jerry, appreciate the 2. 2 more from Jerry. Says the roster we have in the roster. Sorry, I was saying the roster we have and Tampa's. Are we going to win? I think so. Yeah, Vegas has it. I believe it was a 2.5 favorite for the Eagles, which on a neutral field, which suggests that Vegas assumes we are a 5.5 point favorite team. I think the line bumped down to the Eagles -2, so still a favorite. And they had to assume, or knowing the idea that Devontae Smith is likely out, which he's officially out now. In fact, I'll put up the 1 second. I'll put up the official injury report from the Eagles. If I can get it here in a second. Where is that? There we go. Okay, official injury report. There we go. Friday, injury report. Devontae's out officially, like I said, did not practice. And then AJ and Lane, like I also mentioned, had the limited practices. And then the good news, Mekhi Becton, full practice, has had multiple of those in a row with a finger. Landon Dickerson with a wrist, Slay knee, and Milton Williams with a groin, who I believe yesterday had a limited practice, but did get in a full practice. So ultimately what we're looking at here is Devontae's out. I'm thinking AJ and Lane, as I said earlier, are probably going to be out also. It'd be great if one of them or even both of them can end up playing. But assuming or knowing the fact that Lane is still going through the concussion, like I also said, and AJ played a little bit conservatively with the hamstring, even if they're both out, I think that we win. Because the Bucs also have injuries. They have several injuries that they're dealing with, and I can go and get the Bucs injury report also. But they had Kalijah Cansey and who else was it? There was one other one, Antoine Winfield Jr., who were out. And those are naturally, big losses, especially for a team that has struggled to get to the passer. And, as far as Kalijah Cansey, and then also for Antoine Winfield Jr., not a great situation to be in. Hold on. That was the wrong screen. There we go. That looks a little better. Like, what in the world? My face got very, very thin there. But, so yeah, Kalijah Cansey hurts the pass rush, obviously. Antoine Winfield Jr., I mean, it evens it out a little bit. We still would say if you're losing AJ and Smitty, that's never a good thing. But they're not going to have Winfield and, strong safety play. Jalen has thrown some picks to safeties this year, let's be honest, to some, I guess a few quality safeties. And Jalen McMillan actually injured his hamstring today during practice. So he tweaked it. He's doubtful. I would imagine that's probably, you might as well just say out. An injury this late in the week, especially with a hamstring. I can't envision him going, oh, wait, we feel perfectly fine on Sunday. So they're going to be down a receiver. They'll still have Mike Evans. Yes, they'll still have Chris Godwin. The running game has not been great. Bucky Irving being questionable is interesting. Would also envision him being there. He's their best running back so far. Like, if you're not following the Buccaneers, he is, without a doubt, when he is carrying the football, their best running back. Rashad White, no offense to him, he's decent or good, I guess, in the passing game, but carries-wise, it's been night and day difference when Bucky Irving's running the ball. So, would be a big blow if he's not there. Same thing for Luke, I think it's Gedeke. I always say that name incorrectly. I think it's Gedeke. The right tackle for Tampa, questionable. He's also was in concussion protocol. I believe that he just cleared. I could be wrong. He was very similar along the lines of Lane. So they're also dealing with, pass protection, right tackle, dealing with a concussion, and Vita Vea, as well as, several others there. But if Vita Vea is not there, their run defense has been questionable at best. So you see questionable next to Vita Vea, like if he can't go, that does not help it naturally. The fact that we have Saquon Barkley, and this is the second, I think it's the second worst or the third worst run defense in the league, feeling pretty good about Philly's chances. I will say that. In fact, I believe it's 6 rushing touchdowns that Tampa has allowed this year. They haven't given up a passing touchdown, so that's kind of a strange anomaly so far at this point in the season. I'm not too concerned about that though, because again, you go into this game and you say, hey, if the Eagles are going to win this football game, like Saquon Barkley is going to get carries, or he needs to get carries. That's at least what I would be believing anyway. Nonetheless, and also that's why, excuse me, that's why I've got some underdog picks, courtesy of the official sponsor of the show. But if anybody wants to tell these picks while they're at least still available, because I would imagine they're going to get worse odds. But little Baker Mayfield, one fumble loss, because I'm feeling like our pass rush may not be like Broncos production this week. I'm not expecting 7 sacks, but it can be better, and it should be better. I'm thinking we get to him. The bread man's going to be up against Cody Mauch, and he had a miserable game against Denver. Really, all of the interior offensive line for the Bucs did, so wouldn't mind that one. And then also, like, Saquon Barkley to score anytime touchdown, let's be honest, that just feels like a lock until he just can prove that doesn't happen. Should have happened against Atlanta. Kind of got vultured there by Jalen in the tush push. I know that can happen, but the way this game is shaping up. The fact that the Bucs have struggled against it, and the running game, and the fact that you're going to be out a couple playmakers seems like a good one. Also went ahead and threw in there, Jake Elliott, 2 extra points made, 2.5, excuse me, more than that. And then Mike Evans, 4.5 receptions, because if you did not see, Todd Bowles said that they're going to get Mike Evans more involved. He only had 3 targets against the against the Broncos last week. So 3 targets for Mike Evans is definitely not enough. Think you're going to have more. Let's see. Sean, so I signed up for your sponsor. How come they're not giving you the 10K signups equals $1 million they're giving to that Denver guy? I'm assuming you're talking about Brandon Perna. I could be wrong. I'm assuming you're talking about Brandon Perna. I don't know exactly what kind of deal, but his channel is a lot bigger than mine is. So naturally, sometimes that happens. But anyway, that's what I'm going with for the game, because I'm feeling like you probably see a little bit more in that side. Chris Godwin has been playing lights out so far, but it'll be interesting to see, does Q end up being the one guarding him? Is it Avonte Maddox? Hopefully not. He played better in New Orleans. I don't really want him to be the guy, though. So if Chris Godwin is playing, or because he's playing like he is, and he's been in the slot 65% of the time, brings up a question, is this the game, especially because Tampa likes to play 11 personnel, so you have 4 down linemen, is this the game where you see more nickel from the Eagles? And if that's the case, then maybe you move Q to the slot, you guard Chris Godwin, and then Isaiah Rodgers comes in. We'll see. It remains to be seen if we will actually have Isaiah Rodgers and Devin White get onto the field at all, or heck, for Devin White, just be active on the roster. But it's his former team. I feel like if you don't play him here, the writing's kind of already on the wall, but it just amplifies at that point. Like, I don't know what you're doing. I get that Nakobe Dean beat him out for the job, as they say, strangely, because Devin White got all the first team reps, but fine. Even if he beat him out for the job, just to be inactive is just kind of odd. I don't know. Doesn't make sense. Let's see. There's... Oh, Troy. Quinton has to get a pick versus Tampa. It's coming. I know it. Okay, well, hey, there's actually some good odds on that one. I believe they had Zay for that point, but... Yeah, I'm not, by the way, just to be sure, to make sure that people are hearing me correctly, I'm not saying that we get Q off the field. Q should not come off the field. I'm just talking about if we're going to go into a different formation, or you're going to try to shut down somebody, then maybe you move Q over to the slot, because if you give me a choice, like, hey, who do I want to guard Chris Godwin? Because, Zay's not playing the slot. Is it going to be Q guarding Chris Godwin or Avonte Maddox? Like, that's a rhetorical question, I know. But if someone was to say that to you, it's an automatic, you know who you're going to answer. There's absolutely no question. George feeling the same way. A pick for Q. Chris, where do I get these awesome shirts? This one is actually from Die Hard Addicts. So I don't actually... Hang on, I'll put a link in the description if anybody's wanting this. I used to have it, and I actually checking it now. I don't have that one. So let's see. I will put that one here. And likewise, if you use code Philly Special, you can get 15% off. So I should have already had that one in here, but let me do that real quick. There's several other options too, by the way. This is just the Smitty, because, I had to support, especially after the concussion and cheap shot and everything else. But yeah, several people saying Q looks better. I mean, yeah, no brand. Q is better, looks better. There's no doubt in people's minds. I don't think that anyone would argue that fact with you. All right. I'm going to put the link here. Okay, should be updated. Link to the Smitty t-shirt in there. And also the links to Thomas and our t-shirts. We've got those as well. So Maxwell saying this is going to be our breakout game. Hopefully. Breakout game in terms of offense or defense or just complimentary football. What exactly with that one? For me, I hope it's Jalen Hurts. I should clarify that, not Jalen Carter. He played phenomenal against New Orleans. I think he'll still have a good game, but I think it's Jalen Hurts' opportunity for a breakout. Let me get to this super chat real quick, and then I'll go back to that thought here. James with the 5-bomb, appreciate that, said, the bread man, a.k.a. Baby Rhino, is probably still on fire from last week, and that's a good thing. Heck yeah. Again, that's the part where I don't know that we're even questioning. Cosmo, by the way, 3 Eagles for 3 interceptions. Heck yeah. 3 interceptions from the defense. I mean, 1 would be great. We'll take 3. But yes, as far as Jalen, I think that it's definitely a chance for him to really show something against the blitz. Not that he hasn't already, because he's gotten better. But so far, he's 71.4% completion percentage against the blitz. But that is, and it's 8th in the NFL. But if you take that is with all combinations of blitzes. But if you go to multiple blitzers, where it's more than one man, he's being blitzed, then he's 16th in the league. So he's just kind of average, right? So it's not worse. It's not obviously the best, but just in the middle of the pack. The question is, though, Todd Bowles has seemed to have his number. I mean, as Anthony DiBona had said, who should be on relatively soon. He's putting the kiddos to bed, so hopefully bedtimes work out. But assuming it does, we did plan on having Anthony on. But like he said, Todd Bowles is kind of the boogeyman for Jalen Hurts, and the record that he has, it's not that great. He's blitzed him. I think he's blitzed Jalen like 35% of the time with 2 men, or at least multiple blitzers. So you're going to get the 6-man blitz, 7-man blitz, maybe an 8. Situations that Jalen has not played as well against the blitz. And so that'll be the question for me, because if Jalen can show up, answer the bell, answer the call, and play well against the blitz, then questions are already answered, right? Because we're playing with most likely guys that are not your top options. Hopefully AJ's okay to go, but as of right now, I'm assuming and thinking, kind of planning mentally to be ready to see that it's like, all right, you got Jahan Dotson, you got Johnny Wilson, Paris Campbell, Dallas Goedert, of course, and Saquon Barkley. Like those are maybe the top ones there. At least what I'm going with. James, what's up? Says Q will probably have a pick now that I'm not betting on it for the first time this week. You're betting Reed and CJGJ. Okay. Yeah, well, I appreciate you letting me know that. I'm probably going to double down then on Q because you're not taking it. That's usually how it works. Is it Conshon just subbed to win the helmet? LOL. Okay. Well, you're a member, it looks like, as well. So, I mean, I appreciate you subbing now at this point. You were a member anyway, but there you go. Yes, Joey, we're 18 minutes away until the giveaway. I'll do that at 9:30 Eastern time for people asking and wondering. So we'll spin that thing at that point, or the randomized picker, I guess. I'm going to give it a shot, too, because it took me a little bit to figure out how Ecamm uses the live streams and picks a comment. It says it works. I didn't have a live stream up until now. I would have tested on Tuesday, but I didn't find this one until... So we're going to try it out together. It should be better, though, than doing like the trivia thing that we've done in the past. So I want to do something that's, fair from that side. Easy, yes, Vita's not 100%. I mean, even if it goes, he has a brace on his right knee. So, yeah, the rigged wheel. Is that what it is? Daniel, you just got to be subbed to the show and hanging out during the live stream. We're going to do that here in just a bit. That's all you got to do. As far as the tickets, though, if you go back to the previous video or 2 videos, it was the game recap, the one Sirianni nearly sabotaged the Eagles. If you go to that one, you just had to type in the comment, and then you'll get a chance to win 2 Eagles tickets. So there's 2 different ones that we'll be doing here in a little bit. Oh man, 400 times your money last week with a drop. Was it just what was the parlay, James? I'm curious. Like that's crazy. Well, yeah, what all did you have there? Or was it just 400 times? I don't actually know what the odds were or was it a pick 6 that you were betting on it? Anyway, I'm getting off on that. I'm just curious because that's a good bit of odds there. Dustin says, "Hey Josh, love your show. Would love to get that helmet. Appreciate that. Thank you. Always appreciate the support. I think there's a ton of people that seem to think that it's already theirs, unfortunately, that may go home unhappy, but we'll see." The S-Box, appreciate the 5, said, "My Bucs fan coworker thinks Hurts is going to run all over the Bucs defense because that's what Bo Nix did." That's also a good point. Yeah. Nix had some really good numbers. What was it? Like, was he 50 or 60 yards rushing, I believe? I'd have to look that up again. I mean, he did have some good numbers, and the average per carry was up there as well. So, I don't know. Jalen's a little bit of a different character because Bowles is familiar with him, and again, you go back to like the last 5 times that the Eagles have played the Bucs. The Bucs have won 4 of those, and I think Jalen's only been there for 4 or the last 4 meetings, not 5, but still, out of the last 4, they'd be 3-1 against Jalen, or Todd Bowles would be 3-1. So, it's when he goes into it a little bit different game plan. I would imagine that there's a trying to contain Jalen. And I would also envision, as if you're planning on this team, especially knowing the injury report and what might, likely type of lineup that you're going to get is, okay, hey, let's shut down Saquon Barkley and force Jalen to beat us with just passing. And if we could do that, then the blitzes are going to start coming and see, can he answer it? Does he have a quick decision making? Is he able to get the hot reads or the hot routes and be able to see those on time? Or does he make some mistakes? And I think that's ultimately what it'll come down to, because if Jalen does, like if we're coming away from the game and on Monday morning, it's like, man, Jalen didn't throw an interception, didn't have a turnover in the game. He was, like 70% completion for 280 yards and 2 touchdowns. Like, oh my gosh. I mean, you would have answered, or he would have answered almost every single question you possibly could think of, because we'd also be saying that was with, as we mentioned, Jahan Dotson, with Johnny Wilson, Paris Campbell. Those are not the guys you ever expected Jalen to only be thrown to. Dallas Goedert, yes, but I think I mentioned it on one of the last videos, and even maybe whenever Thomas and I were talking about it. But between the active guys on the roster, because remember, Paris Campbell practice squad could be called up, but on the active roster, it's just Johnny Wilson and Jahan Dotson for healthy receivers. Between those guys, throws from Jalen has been 4 catches for 23 yards on 9 targets. It's not, I mean, nothing about that is like, okay, yeah, I've got some confidence here. There's some good chemistry, some good history between those guys, but small sample size. Haven't been with Jalen too long. Understand that, but it needs to be better. But again, that goes back to if it's at the point where you say, hey, Jalen just carved up the Bucs without Smitty and AJ, it should scare the rest of the league, but it should also be the moment of going, all right, the Kellen Moore questions of will he fix the offense are for sure guaranteed. And he's, I would argue, and I think that John and others brought this up in the Zoom call that we had, but like so far he's been as advertised. He's done well. This is that next hurdle, that next point of Jalen has had issues with this, combined with take away one, or in this case, multiple of his best offensive options. And can he still be productive? So I don't know. I'm optimistic. I'm positive. But we will see. It's we'll see if we can get that. Let me make sure, because I may not be getting. Here's Anthony. All right. For some reason, the stream was not letting me know, but I saw a text from Anthony now, so apologies. I'm sure he's seeing this now. We're gonna get Anthony on. Yes, Anthony DiBona is about to join. Here we go. Let me see if I can make sure to get this to work. Let's see. There we go. There he is. As I was, I got the message. For some reason, it wasn't alerting me here. Let me add you to the stream here. Make sure this thing works. And there we go. The man himself, Mr.
Hello there.
Anthony DiBona. How are you?
I'm doing good. How are you guys doing?
We're doing good. I was telling everybody else too. Like, for some reason, the stream it usually alerts me, but I looked down and saw your text, and I
I,
was like, "Oh, okay. Well,
I, I'm sitting here like texting you that I'm typing in the chat. I'm like, let him know I'm trying to join.
oh my gosh, yeah. Well, I went off on a tangent. So, and then I
It's
saw
all
some
right.
people texting, and then also saw yours. So, nonetheless, well, you made it. Better late than never.
I'm
So,
here. I'm
um,
here. The
all
kids
the
try to
kids all
sabotage it,
good.
but I'm here. Yes, everybody's good. Thank God.
Perfect. Very good. Very good to hear. Well, appreciate you joining the show as always. As everybody else,
Yes.
very much excited to have you here. Lots of shout outs for Mr. DiBona himself. If you're not following him on X or Twitter, whatever you prefer to call it, make sure and do that at DiBona PFN, the
I appreciate
official
it.
Eagles reporter of Pro Football Network. So there you go. Let me make sure here to get this one super chat first before we jump in, because I had several questions, obviously, and people want to get your thoughts. Let's see. Super chat here from Sergio. Appreciate the 5. Said, awesome show. Keep it up. By any chance, do you know what happened with Carter and Nick on the sideline at the end of last week's game? I mean, I can speculate because I don't know. Do you have any extra insight, or kind of similarly just emotions and calming down with like, hey, he's like they're jawing, Tyrann Mathieu jawing back and forth. I mean, emotions
I,
get heated in that moment.
I think that was just football players being football players. I don't think Jalen Carter got excited because he was probably talking trash the whole game. And I think it was N'Kobe Dean, I think, that said that, like, you could tell Jalen Carter's having a good game because you could hear him more than you could see him. Because once he's in that zone, he's going to be talking a whole lot. So it seemed like he was dominating. Saquon Barkley kind of sent him a message before the game saying that he played against them, that he's a beast, he's that guy. And sure enough, he went out and dominated the Saints. So if you got to reel him back a little bit, I've always said that I'd rather have a player that you kind of have to reel in a little bit than a guy that you have to kind of try and get to play harder and play with an edge. So the fact that they had to reel him in, I'm sure Nick Sirianni was fine with having to calm him down a little bit.
I agree. I would much rather, as you said, I don't want to have to, and it was a lot of last year, but every time we're like, man, where's that fight? Where's that energy? Where's that physicality? Just even if it is a little bit of smack talk or a little bit of jawing back and forth on the sidelines, something. So yeah, the fact that it's a little bit of the other side, I would absolutely take that. We got to get your thoughts too, because I'm sure you, like the rest of the world here, as soon as we see any Hassan Reddick news, you gotta wonder, you gotta think about it. Now, it feels like we've seen this similar-ish report over the last week or 2 weeks or 3 weeks or however long we want to go, but you get a little bit of hey, Hassan Reddick, is it a potential for Philly? And Rich Cimini, I believe, of ESPN had the podcast. I was talking about this earlier, but mentioned that hey, Hassan Reddick wouldn't be opposed to a possible return to Philly. My takeaway was like, okay, it's why not, basically, because of this situation or scenario. But have you seen from anything that you've heard, read, any other reports? Like, is that a legit, like, valid report of something from Hassan Reddick, or is it more of just speculation because of reading between the lines what's going on before or back and forth, and or I guess maybe combination of like, okay, Eagles haven't gotten great production from the edge, as we all know.
I mean, I think it's probably just maybe a combination of like an agent play and Rich Cimini. I don't think he really puts stuff out there if there's not a little bit of like validity to it. So I'm sure I tweeted about it. I'm sure Hassan Reddick would love to come back to the Eagles because it seemed like they were at least willing to kind of negotiate a new contract or at least change up his guaranteed money a little bit. Whereas the Jets, it seems like they've kind of dug their feet and then they don't want to move off what they've said or what they've offered until he shows up. So I'm sure at this point he's kind of like, hey, I'd rather go back there than have to deal with this. But I mean, it would be hilarious if after all this, they kind of just swap Bryce Huff and Hassan Reddick and just both teams kind of move forward. But I doubt that happens. But I mean, the longer this drags on, I mean, the closer the trade deadline gets, if the Eagles don't get a lot of edge production. And I mean, Will McDonald looks great for the Jets. So maybe they don't feel like they have to make a move there and they feel comfortable doing with what they have and then letting Hassan Reddick kind of rot and force his way into eventually showing up. But I mean, this seems like kind of like his agent, they like break glass in case of emergency. Like, hey, let's just mention the Eagles because whenever anybody mentions the Eagles, they know their fans are going to get crazy and it's going to be trending on social media. I mean, everybody knows how rabid this fan base is, and they know the attention that it'll bring whenever they kind of link the Eagles to them. So they know what they were doing, and I think that kind of plays into it as well. But I mean, it's only a matter of time before there seems to be some kind of end to this Hassan Reddick situation because it's dragged on for way too long.
It really has, and I'm shocked at this point that that there hasn't been a resolution. With all things considered, the fact of the trade, everything else. Also, I was reading, I believe Jimmy Kimsky had the article on this, kind of linking of a couple other info, but it's like he's kind of got till the trade deadline probably to get something figured out. But then if not, then you risk or kind of in jeopardy of basically having the contract. I don't know how to word this in the best way, but like roll over another year. Does that like that would be? There's no way that happens, right? Like I mean, because then you're talking about like you held out to try to do something, and then oh by the way, like it doesn't even help you in any means at all because it goes from this offseason 2024 to 2025.
It's crazy. I mean, living in New York City, I listen to the radio like every day I go to work, and it seemed like right before the start of the regular season, people were like, all of the reporters and the Jets insiders were saying on the radio that like, oh, they think something's going to happen before the regular season. Like it seems like this week is the week, and then sure enough, now we're heading into week 4, and it's been 6 months I think since Hassan Reddick first showed up to the Jets facility. So it's just crazy. I thought for sure once Jermaine Johnson went down that was going to be like, all right, well, like the Jets are like, all right, we need you. Like we'll figure something out. You want a little bit more guaranteed money. We'll work through this season, then we'll revisit it in 2025. But that didn't happen, obviously. And Will McDonald has like 5 sacks in his last 2 games combined. So I guess it's just like the Jets, like, hey, we're comfortable moving forward. Our defense looks all right. And if you want to wait, you're only hurting yourself. So, I mean, it just doesn't make any sense. And at this point, I feel like they just have to trade him by the trade deadline if something doesn't get resolved where they work out a contract. But who knows if it's Philly or somewhere else. But it seems like an edge player is going down almost every week. So there's probably going to be some team that's going to be willing to offer like some type of day 3 pick where the Jets kind of feel like, all right, we'll take this. It's not what we traded away, but it's something, and they'll just move on. But it's just such a crazy and rare situation. I've never seen anything like it.
I remember whenever we were recording upon the first news, and you're right, it was so long ago at this point. We're like, all right, well, the Eagles at that time, it was like, I don't know. Was it a good trade? Like, it feels like really just a third round, maybe second for, conditional reasons, which it's impossible that you're getting a second at this point. But like, still the immediate knee-jerk reaction was, you got to be kidding me, that's all that he's getting back for Hassan Reddick. And then now you fast forward to this point, and there's part of it that you look at and go, well, yeah, I mean, you've got a third-round pick and a guy that's not even playing. However, as John M. had brought up previously and others, the comment has been made of multiple comparisons, I guess, of like, okay, Jalen Hurts has more tackles than Bryce Huff. Hassan Reddick has the same amount of solo tackles as Bryce Huff. So that's not the best sign because, he's played 4 games and you would hope he'd have a little bit more to show for it. Still, this thing could end up, even with the Bryce Huff scenario, still be fine for the Eagles because of how it's just playing out miserably for the Jets. But I anticipated once this thing started dragging on to the regular season, as a lot of people did, like, all right, hey, Bryce Huff will get into the flow and he'll have some pressures, maybe a couple tackles, you'd like a sack here or there. We just haven't seen it so far, and it appears that, I mean, he's headed for maybe less snaps. He only had, I think, 18 snaps, if I'm not mistaken, against the Saints. What are you making of Bryce Huff? There's still some hope, right? Like, we can't totally give up on him, but what are we making of Bryce Huff right now?
I mean, he had that one play against the Saints where he kind of did actually set the edge, and he seemed pumped about it afterwards. I think Milton Williams and Nakobe Dean or a combination like that kind of cleaned up the run, and he forced Alvin Kamara back inside, and you could see Bryce Huff kind of celebrate afterwards. So maybe that's the turning point, and moving forward, he'll kind of do a little bit better. But I mean, after what we've seen in the first 3 weeks, it's hard to be encouraged about what he's done on the field. And the fact that his snap total is just going lower and lower, I mean, maybe this is the week it goes back up a little bit, but Brandon Graham looks like he's in his mid-20s again. He's playing out of his mind. And
yeah.
Josh Sweat's playing better than a lot of people thought he would. Like through the first week or two, he's really turned the corner in week 3. So hopefully that moves forward as well. And then Nolan Smith looks solid overall. And so it kind of seems like Bryce Huff's kind of become that 4th guy when, I mean, it's not for like, it's all basically because of his play, because he really hasn't looked good. I mean, he's been out there. They gave him 30 plus snaps in the second game, and it just didn't work out. I mean, you can't just keep letting the edge get blown away, and he's just either pushed inside or he's just not setting the edge at all. And that's the biggest factor. And the Jets fans kind of warned the Eagles fans when they signed Bryce Huff. They were like, listen, this guy can't play against the run. And everybody was like, no, he'll be different as a full-time player. He hasn't given the opportunity. And we're seeing very quickly that they were right. So
Yep.
I mean, I think if both sides, the Jets and the Eagles, were able to kind of redo things, they probably would at this point. But they're both kind of stuck in what they have and trying to make the most of it.
Unfortunately, yeah, there were some warnings of that, but I'm hopeful that maybe we could see something. Robert, appreciate the 5. This was for an earlier section, but I guess it can apply for anything here. But saying, look, it's only week 3 or only through 3 weeks. I guess there's still a lot of football left to be played. Let's get the kinks out now and go from there. So, it can be better. We can improve in lots of areas. Offensively, it would be nice to have some health, and I was showing the injury report earlier. But at this point, Devontae Smith officially out on a. I mean, let's be honest. Like, it was a cheap shot. Like, I don't know how anybody can argue that it was not. That the refs, I'm sure, if you're a player there, you're waiting for a whistle. I can understand that argument, but like, it was so far delayed of Smitty moving backwards and. If anything, you could just grab him there and help them. You don't have to tee off on a player in that sense. Still, he's out now because of the concussion, and now you're looking at AJ Brown. He did practice; it was limited, as well as Lane Johnson. But thoughts on either of those two? Because we got several comments and questions on that. But could you potentially see an AJ Brown playing? Could you potentially see a Lane Johnson giving it a go? And maybe if so, why?
Maybe I'm crazy, but I think because the fact that they even played was kind of a positive sign. I mean, the fact that they practiced was a positive sign because I feel like they could have just held him out, especially AJ Brown, where he hasn't practiced at all over the past 2 weeks or so. So if maybe it is kind of just mind games with the Bucs, like, hey, they might play, they're questionable, who knows? But like, I don't think they really would mess around like that. I feel like if they're gonna kind of give them a chance to play, that they're gonna actually practice. And so now things seem like they're kind of up in the air, probably 50-50, but I think there is a chance because obviously the Buccaneers, I mean, going into the bye week 2-2 wouldn't be the end of the world, but given the injuries that they've dealt with and whatnot, but if you can go into that 3-1 and maybe the fact that they do have a bye week next week, they think, all right, if AJ Brown's hamstring kind of pops up again and hurts him again, then he kind of has a week off next week and almost 2 weeks off in a way, and because you don't play again until week 6 and it's at home, so you don't have to worry about traveling or anything like that. So maybe they're thinking along those lines where they can play him maybe a couple snaps and then kind of work his way back and see how he responds. But I think there's a chance they'd play. I mean, I won't say for sure because my history with percentages. But I mean, I think the fact that they practice at all is, like I said, I think that's a positive sign. So even if they do kind of play it safe and let him take another week off, and that would give AJ Brown 4 full weeks before week 6 of kind of resting, and then they can kind of have everybody fully healthy coming out of the bye week. Maybe Sidney Brown gets activated off the IR, things like that, and they move forward in a much better injury situation than they are right now.
Okay. All right. I like some positivity. I'll be honest. People were asking. I felt like we may not see either of them, but it's a fair point. I mean, the fact that they're actually practicing when you could just be like, let's not even. Why even put them out there for a limited if you have the bye week coming up and you're just gonna rest? So, I mean, I would love to see. Everyone would love to see AJ. I'm just kind of like, I don't know if it's going to be dicey with the hamstring and everything else, but as I think everyone would also assume,
I guess the risk is the risk worth the reward at that point. I feel like because if he does say he plays and God forbid he tears his hamstring or something like where it's like a really long extended period of time, then now you're thinking to yourself like, wow, we should have just waited, gave him the bye week also, and then like bounce back off that. So I mean, and considering how good Fred Johnson played, I feel like you don't really feel like you have to rush Lane Johnson out there. So I feel like they had this showing where they feel like they probably could move the ball, especially with the Buccaneers missing a couple defensive starters, Antoine Winfield most notably. I know he missed the last 2 games, but he's kind of the best player on their defense. So the fact that he's down and not playing, maybe they feel like they can move the ball, kind of just work through Saquon and Dallas Goedert like they did last week to end the game and just go forward with that. I feel like they have enough, even if those 2 guys don't play, to actually win, but it's a matter of them going out there and executing.
And hopefully we see it. Regardless, whoever it is, and they still should have enough, I think, as most people would agree. But yeah, you'd love to see some of the other playmakers, like we would love to see, a little bit of Isaiah Rodgers, and heck, I don't know if Devin White ends up being activated at all. That's a whole nother situation there. But appreciate from Woo Kingdom says, I don't think AJ, Smitty, or Lane play. Too risky. Sunday's a great opportunity for my guy Jahan Dotson, Paris Campbell, and Groot. Johnny Wilson. That's a nickname I've seen a couple of people throwing out there, Groot. So, I mean, I didn't ever think I'd be saying it, but you got your scary wide receiver trio there of Jahan Dotson, Paris Campbell, and Johnny Wilson. That's
I honestly, I think, like, I know it sounds crazy. It's easy to make jokes about, but if AJ Brown is out, I know we know Devontae Smith is out too. I feel like this could be like a Paris Campbell game. Might sound crazy,
Okay.
but the fact that early in training camp, he seemed like he was like the solidified wide receiver 3, and he had a connection with Jalen Hurts. And then you see last week he had 2 receptions where Johnny Wilson and Jahan Dotson only had 1 each, I think. So he didn't really play as many snaps as the other guy, but it seems like he kind of is. It seems like whoever's filling that kind of that slot role, like Britton Covey, where he got 6 targets, well, 6 receptions in week 3 or week 2, and then it seemed like he was going to be involved heavily before getting hurt in week 3. I feel like he kind of should be the guy to watch for. I'm going to write about it for PFN. That's probably going to be posted tomorrow or Sunday. But I think Paris Campbell, if any of those wide receivers are out, I feel like Paris Campbell might be the guy that kind of benefits from that.
Okay. All right. Something to keep an eye on. By the way, for people that are watching this back, there's a link in the description for Anthony DiBona's article. So if you want to read all about it, just go check it out there. Also, got to get to this because, we're talking about Isaiah Rodgers and Devin White as well, which is another topic of that. But people are wondering for the giveaway. So I did mention that at about 9:30 Eastern that we would do it. So the Isaiah Rodgers helmet is still back here. You can't see it at this point because we're doing the interview. It's a smaller screen now, but it is back there as people saw to start this thing. So what we're going to do is we are basically going to we're going to pick a winner from the live stream because we had people that have not claimed it. Unfortunately, somebody did not claim it last time. And I'm shocked. I would assume that someone would claim it whenever but nonetheless, they did not. And so some people think that I don't do the giveaways and that I'm just hoarding everything, and I would love to do that. But
I checked all of my burner accounts. None of them won.
None of them won. Okay, so your 75 burner accounts.
I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
But to that note, I'm going to do it here. So here's how this thing's going to work. No, it's not trivia. People are wondering. No, it's going to be a randomized thing. But the way that it has to work here, and I'm going to try this because I've never done it actually. So hopefully this thing actually works. People in the comment section, all I need you to do is everyone just start and only type it once, because if you do it multiple times, it literally it'll kick you out. Like, you'll be out of the drawing. So do not type it twice. I mean, you've been warned. If you do it, whatever. But I need you to type in Zay, Z-A-Y. That's all you got to do. Z-A-Y, and type it in, hit enter. This thing is tracking it in real time, and I'm going to give it here a couple minutes. And as long as you've done that, then you will be in the drawing. And then it's literally going to be a random drawing for someone to win the helmet. Someone says it once. That's true. There you go. Okay, so now we've got all the comments. We got all the entries. I'm seeing it trickle up like crazy.
I see autocorrect. People getting autocorrect to say. So make sure it's Z-A-Y.
Oh, that's a good point. If someone's not... Yeah, see, now they got to risk it, though, because there's so many comments. They won't be able to go back and see themselves. So you better hope you did it.
I'm seeing a couple of says in there.
Oh, no. Rand with an E. I saw say, not Zay. See, this is a dangerous game. It's Chris saying may take a while. Yeah, maybe so. It doesn't matter if it's capitalized, Frank. It's a good question, I guess. But no, it does not matter. James, no need to spin. You won. Just send it to you. Okay, yeah, I'm sure that everybody else here in the chat is just going to be perfectly fine with that. It's like, yeah, let's just go ahead and send it to him. While we're doing that, because I'll give it another couple minutes for this thing to capture it, and then I will randomly spin. The good news is that someone will actually be here on the live, so we can confirm that it's them in the moment. So there you go. Yes, making sure we're not having any other cheesesteaks putting slay. Okay, I mean, you can. That's not going to pick it up, but Zay, Z-A-Y. As they're doing that, though, it feels appropriate, I guess. We might as well talk about Isaiah Rodgers. Haven't seen him up to this point. He has been active. It's been a little bit strange. I know he's wearing the protective padding, I suppose, on the hand. And Fangio's comment previously from the press conference of, like, very strange kind of phrasing it of, like, Keely Ringo went in and played because he was ready, because of where the situation of the game was. But if it had been earlier in the game, we had more game to play. Isaiah Rodgers would have been out there. I can't fully make sense of that. I don't want to believe that it's the fact that it's like Keely Ringo was just standing there on the sidelines quicker to jump into the game. But is there anything that you can get from that? I don't know, something that just makes sense about why he would not play Zay late, and then if it had been earlier, yes, he would have.
I thought that was weird too. I remember I was sitting there like watching the press conference, and I'm just like, wait, huh? And like nobody really like pressed them about it and like asked them again. I mean,
Yeah,
granted, I guess they think at this point, like backup cornerback, whatever, they just want to ask a 10th question about is Jalen Hurts or is Nick Sirianni calling plays or is Kellen Moore calling plays, because that's what they do for the whole press conference now,
well,
apparently. But anyway, yeah, I thought his answer was weird because, like you said, it was kind of like he's like, oh yeah, he was just. It almost seemed like it was like a high school thing, like, oh, he was right there on the sideline. I kind of just threw him in the game, and
Mhm.
and it made it sound like Isaiah Rodgers was like laying on the bench with his feet up, like he didn't even want to go in the game. It was just like an odd situation, and like I feel like if that's going to be your combination earlier in the game, then it should be your combination at any point in the game, because he talks about having like your best players out there. So if that's your best situation, then so be it. But I mean, he also has Keely Ringo out there when they were doing like playing dime, where Keely Ringo is kind of like a slot corner in a way instead of using Cooper DeJean there. So that kind of seemed weird to me as well, because I don't think Keely Ringo really fits that role too well, and I think either Isaiah Rodgers or Cooper DeJean would be better there. So
Mhm.
I mean, maybe I don't know what happened. This whole Devin White Isaiah Rodgers situation is so weird. I mean, I've never seen guys dominate snaps, first team snaps all throughout training camp, most of preseason, then they just miss a game or whatever, and now all of a sudden they're just completely out of the rotation, not having a role at all. So it's just such an odd situation. I mean, maybe they both get moved to the trade deadline, or if somebody goes down, then they'll step up. But they haven't really used anybody besides Zach Baun and the Kobe Dean at linebacker. So Devin White doesn't really have a role. And at least Isaiah Rodgers is active, but they're not using him as a returner. They're not using him as their sixth defensive back. So I mean,
Mhm.
it's just such a weird situation, and I don't really know what to make of it at this point.
Yeah, I'm at a total loss as well. I was kind of thinking what came to my mind whenever I heard that comment from Fangio was really from like Remember the Titans, of a scene between like Petey and what's Ryan Gosling's character? I can't think of what his name was, but whoever he played, and they're like, hey, you're in. He's pouting or whatever, and it's like, okay, fine. So throw someone else in there. Like,
It was so
not a
weird.
whole lot of
Yeah.
plan on this thing. It's just like, hey, he's quicker. Now, I'm not saying that happens, so please don't anybody run with that and go, oh, there's some pouting going on the sideline. No, but it's just like, didn't really make a whole lot of sense for a corner that you would assume was going to go in there, especially with him admitting or saying that, like, yes, it was early in the game. But I don't know. It's a difference of at least he's active. But yeah, like you said, I mean, even with Devin White, he's inactive, and sure, maybe there's some concern or like he doesn't have ability within special teams, but you sign a guy of like I made the whole video trying to go back for it because I was like, I remember comments being made of Devin White, like how he said to him, and I was like, okay, I want to go find that. So I went back to the Pivot podcast and found those clips. I was like, the more that I look into it, the more that I hear him say, and the articles that were right at that time that he got signed, or right whenever they started training camp, and obviously we know the story of him getting all the first team reps. I'm like, I cannot fully understand what happened. And I know that some people have said, like, get over it, Nakobe Dean just beat him out for the starting job. And he did, because he's a starter, and he very well may have. It was just the strangest way to beat a guy out for a job when he didn't get first team reps in the practices, which the media was at almost every single one of them. And but maybe that's how, I don't know, Fangio wanted him to beat him out by proving it, by putting him behind him and have a little extra dog mentality. Maybe, I don't know if it was head games or what, but it is a strange situation there, because I'm like, it not everything adds up whenever you see that and how they were talking about it, to then, hey, well, Devin White's here, but he's inactive for 3 games, one for, I guess the injury with the ankle, but all 3 games. So it's crazy. I can't make sense of it.
I still have my doubts about that whole injury to miss the first game. I don't know how much of an
Okay,
injury
I'm
that truly
glad
was.
that you do
That's a
too.
whole that's a whole nother thing. But I said it when it happened. I was like, maybe that was more of his pride being hurt than it was his ankle or whatever it was.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
that whole situation just doesn't seem right. I mean, he's saying all the right things. He's acting like a professional, so I don't want to take anything away from him. But it just seems like such. Even with Paris Campbell on the offensive side of the ball, where like he was dominating the wide receiver 3 reps for most of the camp, and then granted they traded for Jahan Dotson, but then he just gets cut outright. And I mean, maybe that's because they didn't want to put the other guys on waivers or whatever. But now you see what happened at wide receiver. Now he's probably gonna have an opportunity. So maybe there will be an injury, and Isaiah Rodgers and Devin White will have an opportunity. But the fact that Devin White's not even active is just so weird.
It definitely is. I'm gonna get to the super chat here, and then yes, we're gonna draw it because I've got all the comments in. I believe we're starting to get like none based on the entries. So I'm gonna do that here in just a second. It is for the Isaiah Rodgers signed helmet, as we're talking about Zay. DKT, appreciate the 10, said would love to see Zay play, but I think our corners have been doing a great job. Go Birds. Go Birds, absolutely. I don't think either of us would disagree with that. They've been doing a great job. It's just, in the instance where if and when you have a Slay get injured, for example, or if you go to a nickel or dime situation, then okay, who does get inserted on the field as the other corner? And it so far has been Keely Ringo, which is a little surprising, especially when you combine that with Fangio and what he said in the press conference. And it's like, okay, if it was Sirianni, I think all of us would take it with a grain of salt. But like Vic is brutally honest. So for him to say it the way that he did and phrase it the way that he did, that's the extra part where I'm like, wait a second, what? And as you brought up also, if I'm in that press conference, I'm not asking another question of like who's calling the offense. I'm like, Coach, well, I guess you wouldn't ask Fangio that, but still, like I'd be like, can you expand on that? What exactly do you mean? If it had been earlier in the game, does that mean game plan wise, like he is the plan, and this was just a spur of the moment situation? Like, what does that mean? And he could have played, he could have just disregarded it and moved on. That'd been fine, but I would have at least appreciated a second follow up question just because I'm curious. I don't know. Maybe we'll never know for sure.
It was just a weird situation because, like I said, if he's active and you think he's your answer early in the game, then I feel like he should be your answer late in the game. I mean, maybe it comes down to the fact that he's even said on your show itself that like he doesn't really want to play in the slot. So if they do go to those dime looks, that Keely Ringo has said he's more comfortable inside than Isaiah Rodgers is, and maybe that's more of a factor. Or maybe it's Howie Roseman kind of pulling strings behind closed doors where he's like, hey, if it's down to like one of these guys that has more than a year left on their contract, these younger guys like Nakobe Dean and Keely Ringo, and a guy like Devin White or Isaiah Rodgers, that maybe just give the younger guy with more team control left the plays over them so they can kind of build off that. So maybe that's playing in as well. But it's just, like I said, it's just a weird situation in that situation, you're saying the guy would be your answer in the first quarter, but not in the fourth quarter. I mean, especially in a game that was close. It's not like it was a blowout where you're like, oh, let's just get this guy some snaps. Like that was a potentially game deciding drive, and you kind of just threw out whoever was closest. Like, I don't know. It doesn't make sense.
I know. And the first play was like a 26-yard completion to I think it was Olave over the middle maybe. But it's like, all right, well, good. That's who you threw out there. So
it was like the least encouraging line ever that I've heard from Vic Fangio. Like, oh yeah, he was right there.
That's true.
He had his helmet on, so we just put him in. Like, what?
We almost played him. We didn't, but we almost did. So I don't know. Maybe he watches the show and he just had to little throw a dog a bone, so to speak. He's like, yeah, they'll appreciate this. He was close to playing.
He was trying to take some heat off Sirianni, maybe, and then like nobody took the bait. They're like, oh no, well, who's calling plays on offense? They're like, no,
go back.
Don't care about
Vic.
That.
Who's calling plays on offense? Do you know?
Yeah.
Can you give us more of that? All right, we've got all the comments here. Breed of One, also member for 8 months. Congratulations, appreciate your support. Said is Isaiah's hand still bothering him secretly? I mean, I think he's fine if he's active and everything else. I haven't seen any reports. I haven't heard anything indirectly, directly, anything like that. So James also 3 months of being the member. Want White, but see White and a fifth for Reddick at the bye week. Well, I mean, I don't know. I guess crazier things could happen, but I'm still not envisioning a trade for Reddick. I guess we'll see. Also, Jamar, appreciate 3 months. Let's go. 3 months down. Zay Helmet, let's go. A little bit of luck there on the chance. Torteville, I'm going to get to your super chat. I'm sorry. I was just going in order, or not order. I was going based on, what am I trying to say? Topics. So I was just kind of going off. I mean, I will get to it. I promise. I've seen it. It's saved up here. I just want to do the giveaway because people are waiting on the Zay helmet, and then I'll get to that. So here we go. We've got tons of entries. People are all on the live. So hopefully you win it. Best of luck to every one of y'all. Pick the winner, and here we go. I'm going to share the screen as it's spinning, and oh, there we go. We got the winner. I've already got it. I didn't know it was going to pick that quickly, but I'll screen share. I think I can make this work. There you go. We lost Anthony for a second. You're still here with us. We just can't see you.
I'm here.
There you go. It's Cinda, I believe is how I say that. It's Cynda. Cinda. I hope that's how I say that. Congratulations to you. Hopefully you're still here on the live stream. I need to see a comment from you and like say, hey, I'm here, something, anything. But yes, you won. So as long as I can get a comment here from you, then I need to get your info, and I need you to email me. And there we go. I see it. Heck yeah, congrats. All right, you won the helmet. So email me at thephillyspecialshow@gmail.com. Just email me there, and then I will get your info. Send me a screenshot. Just please make sure or that I can like screenshot of your profile so that I know that it's you. Maybe watching like the live stream on the bottom right or something like that, just to double check and verify. It's not that I don't love everyone hanging out here on the chat, but some of y'all are crazy, and there's some people that are going to try to pose. So make sure that he's absolutely you. And I've had like 3 of those over this past month of being like, hey, man, it's me. I won. And I'm like, oh, can you send me a screenshot of your profile to confirm? And it doesn't show the manage videos. It just shows like subscribe. And I'm like, how are you subscribing to yourself? Like, you're just, it's clearly not going to be managing that. But see, I've got like now tons of people that are saying that they are Cinda. So you might identify as Cinda. I guess that's a possibility.
Everybody's changing their profile name.
You're gonna get a million of those. But congrats to you. You got that one. Also for everybody else, it's not the last giveaway tonight. Tonight's crazy. It's wild for giveaways. There's one more that I'll probably do here in I don't know, maybe 10 or 15 minutes. But we got to take advantage of. I think you've got a few more minutes. Unless do you need to jump?
Yes. No, I'm good. Okay, I got until about 10 o'clock or so.
Okay, cool.
Everybody's saying my burner won. It's not me.
That's why we took you off screen, so we couldn't see your facial reaction whenever you announced.
Mine was Cindy. Mine was Cindy, not Cinda, or whatever. Yes. Right?
Cinda was the one. You were close.
Kidding.
You were one letter off.
I'm kidding.
But we're also doing the giveaway for 2 game tickets, any game of your choice. That was on the game recap video. So I have yet to do that one. That one will be in I don't know, 10 or 15 minutes.
You're like Oprah today. Just you get a giveaway. You get a giveaway.
I know. Well, it's what happened was that people didn't claim the wins, and so then we just start piling up till the end of the month. And then I was like, I got to give these things away because, I mean, I'd love to hang on to this helmet for forever, but then people what happened was the longer that people kept seeing it, they're like, bro, I thought you were giving that thing away. And I was like, I did, but nobody claimed it. So I need someone to take the helmet from me so I can ship it away. So thankfully people will see that the helmet is no longer here. They might get one more video because I kind of already filmed some stuff for tomorrow's, but that'll be the last one. You will not see the helmet anymore. It'll be conspiracy though, because people are like, oh, see, I told you. But yes, I got to get some more helmets though, is what I'm going to need to do. But yes, congratulations. Shoot me an email if you already did. I will check it here later tonight or tomorrow, and get your shipping address, info, and everything else. So you will get the helmet. And congrats again to you. Now let me get to some of these super chats as well, because I was going a little bit out of order just to make sure. But Breed of One, appreciate the 2, said I need Hurts to stop turning the ball over. And then Torteville, I'm going to get to yours after that. But thoughts on Jalen? I guess. Yeah, the comment there of turning the ball over, but also, I mean, it's Todd Bowles' defense. He's been good. Jalen has been good against the blitz this year. Kellen Moore helping him. But it's a little bit different matchup with Todd Bowles. Are you confident, I guess, for one, in Jalen, but then also thoughts on the fact that there might not be as many weapons for him in combination with that?
Yeah, I tweeted earlier today that, like, Todd Bowles has kind of been Jalen Hurts' like boogeyman throughout his career. I mean, if you look at his numbers against Todd Bowles versus like everybody else, it's just drastically worse. It's his completion percentage is like under 60%. He only averages like low 200, like past 225, I think, passing yards per game. It's like 4 passing touchdowns to 5 interceptions or something like that. It's like really not encouraging numbers. And I know in the playoffs he didn't have AJ Brown last year. Now this week he might not have AJ Brown or Devontae Smith. So he's kind of facing an uphill battle. But at the same time, he gets paid a lot of money. So the fact that like, I mean, like at some point he has to just not put the team in holes like early in the game. I feel like, especially last week, those were 2 turnovers that were very avoidable. Granted, Devontae Smith kind of rounded out his route at the top, and he didn't really cut across the safety's face where he kind of made a kind of a better play. I think you kind of like to see that throw from Jalen Hurts where he kind of trusts his receivers and gives them a chance, but Devontae Smith has to play that better, and they probably would like to target AJ Brown in that situation because he's more of a bigger, more physical wide receiver. But we've also seen Devontae Smith kind of win crazy contested catch scenarios in the past as well. So, I mean, they kind of just threw it up there. It didn't work out, but the fumble was inexcusable. I mean, he has to have better timing with that, better protection of the ball. And he just can't be turning the ball over like he has. That's not what he like. That's just not going to work, especially with less and less weapons around him each week, each game. He needs to be better than that. He gets paid a lot more than like to be better than that. He's the performing. I mean, he's like third in the NFL behind like Anthony Richardson and Will Levis in turnovers at the quarterback position. So I mean, you're grouped
Not
in with
great.
two like second year quarterbacks, and you have a much better offensive line in front of you. Granted, like I said, the offensive weapons have kind of been up and down, but regardless, he needs to be better with the ball, and hopefully he can do that against Tampa Bay and then head into the bye week because it's not going to get any easier. I mean, Tampa Bay's defense is solid. Todd Bowles has always given him problems, and then the Cleveland Browns are a pretty tough defense that has a lot of talent as well too. So we'll see what happens, but he definitely needs to clean things up.
Yeah, I'm hopeful. James here says he's in his pick'em to throw another pick, so James is not maybe believing that happens as quickly for cleaning it up and with the turnovers. But without the weapons, and with the history of Todd Bowles, that is a fair point and a concern, obviously, of like, does he keep having these turnovers? I think that within this game, especially if he doesn't have AJ or Smitty, and this is probably easy to say this with the fact that he might be playing without those weapons, but I think the way that they win is being able to, or if he doesn't turn the ball over, but if he turns the ball over, then I'm kind of like, I think that might be what it comes down to. Like if you're looking at the end of the box score, end of game box score, Jalen didn't have any turnovers, Eagles win. If he has one turnover, I think Eagles might lose. I think it's going to be close regardless. But as you said there, it's like when you have your full team, full strength, you can afford to win with turnovers. Like you can still kind of climb out of a hole. You don't want to, and it would be great to get fast starts and be able to win games without even having to lose years off of our life. But that's just what we do these days. But without his weapons, you don't really have that luxury. Like you turn the ball over, and next thing you know, it's like, well, okay, this can't happen because the Saints very easily, had they been doing anything on offense, had the Eagles defense not been playing well above, I think, what everybody anticipated they would play like, the Saints could have been up 14-0, 21-0, 21-3 at halftime. Like it could have been really ugly, but thankfully the defense helped bail it out in the early situations. Now, we could still say, sure, Jalen made some plays down the stretch, but it comes back to that complementary football. And as you're talking about, I'm also in total agreement. It's like just situational awareness, making some plays, and at the same time, I think that everybody understands this. It's not all putting it on Jalen. It's not like he's made every single, like it takes multiple bad reps from whether it's an O-lineman, whether it's Smitty rounding out a route that could have been across the face of Matthew and not been an interception, whether it could have been A.J. Brown in the Packers game, if you want to argue and saying if he didn't slip, A.J. could have gotten to that ball. Like, there's arguments to be made, but it's like eventually the common denominator becomes he's just turning the ball over. And, it's like, well, compare that to other quarterbacks in the league, and it just needs to be better. So I agree with you there. Breed of One is saying, also appreciate the 10, said it's more than just the Saints, like Anthony said. He's my let's see, he's my favorite. Sorry, why did I lose that comment? Here we go. He's my favorite current Eagles, but he's better than this, so it's upsetting, especially when I'm trying my best to defend him in arguments. LOL. So, yeah, I mean,
I feel like on social media, especially, you just see like people that'll defend Jalen Hurts no matter what. Like, no, he still threw for 300 and something yards, completed 80% of his passes. Like, but the fact is him and Nick Sirianni, they both kind of made it way more difficult than it needed to be. I mean, between Sirianni just basically erasing 6 points off the scoreboard by himself with his decisions, and then Jalen Hurts turning the ball over two times early. Like you said, if the defense doesn't make those stands, then that game could look drastically different. And sure, it honestly looked like they were about to lose. With a minute left, they were able to hit that 60-yard pass to Dallas Goedert, and the Saints defenders run into each other. Granted, that was like a great play call, and it worked perfectly, but that very could have easily been an incomplete pass, and it was 3rd and 16. Now they're chucking the ball on 4th and 16 just to stay alive in the game. Like, that one play kind of changed the whole narrative, I think, because if that play doesn't happen, people are like, oh my God, Jalen Hurts turned the ball over twice again. The Eagles fell short. But like, it's just like, he can't be doing that. He needs to be better. And I know I'm not, like you said, I'm not putting it all on him, but in order for them to have a chance, he needs to just be careful with the football and can't turn it over and can't put them behind the sticks so early and things like that. Like, if they have to lean on the rushing attack and he only throws for 200 yards, so be it. But he just needs to be efficient, not turn the ball over, take what's there, and I think they'll have enough to be able to beat the Bucs.
And please, I mean, of all games, not that you need any extra emphasis, but please lean on the rushing game with Saquon Barkley. Like for this one with the Bucs, and I was talking about it earlier, but like second or third worst in the league, 137, 138 yards a game given up, 6 rushing touchdowns. Kind of amazingly, they haven't given up a passing touchdown. That's a strange stat up to this point, but take advantage
I
of
mean,
it. The fact
you
that
don't,
they
you
can't
don't
stop
have
the
to throw
run.
you don't have to throw touchdowns against them because they
Exactly.
can't. They had Bo Nix looking like Michael Vick out there, so you gotta
Yeah, I
take
forgot
it.
to
Take what they
mention
can
that.
give you. If it's gonna be like that Saints game a couple years ago where they ran for like 300 yards and Jalen Hurts only threw for like 170, then so be it. Like
Mm-hmm.
with this amount of guys out, you just have to do whatever you have to do to win. And if it means that Jalen Hurts is in top 5 or top 10 in passing yards after that week, then so be it. It's just win the game, move it to the bye week 3-1, and then you'll be in a great situation moving forward. A lot healthier, things will look a lot better moving forward.
Yep. I'm right there with you. Torteville with a 5 said maybe some 2 running back sets in this game with Barkley and Shipley. It would make it harder to key on Barkley and Shipley is good receiving running back. So that's another point too. You talk about utilizing the running game, get it going. If you're using 2 running back sets and you use Shipley in that way, maybe it throws off the Bucs a little bit, just a different look. I don't know if Kellen's ready to fully utilize that and put Will Shipley out in those areas. We've seen a couple snaps, a couple instances where Will Shipley's gotten some action, but not too much. So I don't know. It'd be interesting. But yeah, Saquon is the first and foremost. You have him, you use him. Biggest advantage, especially against
this is going to be like a 25 to 30 touch Saquon Barkley game. It has to be because I don't know what else their plan would be, especially if AJ Brown is out as well.
Is this your, because I took him for a pick 'em, but is this your I took an anytime touchdown with Saquon. Like it just feels like if the Eagles are going to score a touchdown, it's Saquon. Would this be one of the games that you feel like just going into it, the matchup, Saquon, the offense, lacking the weapons? I'm not asking you for percentage because we don't do that anymore, but that you feel one of the most comfortable towards Saquon scoring for the Eagles. Okay.
Yes, I feel like if there's any player on the Eagles right now, I feel like you have to take Saquon. Just the amount of sheer touches that he's going to have, and the fact that, like you said, this Bucs defense, run defense, is not great. So if there's any area that they can kind of take advantage of him, even with wide receivers missing time, it's going to be Saquon Barkley.
Okay. All right. Or there you go. Well, there you have it. I don't know if that jinxed it, so maybe people are going to take the opposite because they heard it now. But I mean, I'm feeling the same when I said it as well. Whenever I began, I was like, hey, if you're going to take something, now would be the game. You take Saquon Barkley anytime touchdown. Some people like the yards, but for me, it's like, you can see go back and forth. But I don't know. That's at least where I'm at. I think you need to jump, right? Because you got the...
Yes.
Okay, good. I just make sure that I keep you on schedule. I don't want to get you in trouble. So
one last thing.
Yes.
I know it's been a day or two, but happy belated birthday to you.
Thank you.
Your Reed Blankenship year is going to be the best year yet, and 100K subscribers coming soon.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that. That is, we'll see. I'm unbelievably blessed. I did not expect it. 32 is just and I know people are a lot older and they're like, oh, I'm so young and everything, but like, I'm sure everyone can relate when you're in your own life and you're like, oh, 32. Like, I just don't think I ever really envisioned like, man, I'm 32 years old. So
32 is the new 22. It's all right. Don't worry. I turned 32 in December, so.
Well, you're going to be right there eventually.
I'm gonna wish for a full head of hair like yours, but I don't think it's gonna
happen. Well, stranger things have happened, I suppose. But that's.
I'm gonna have to take a trip to Turkey or something like that.
I was gonna say yes. You might be tagging along with Christian McCaffrey. You need to go to some European country for some treatment. So, but no, appreciate you, man, hopping on. It's always a blast. Again, for people not following, you're missing out. It is content nonstop. Follow Anthony at DiBona PFN, official Eagles reporter of Pro Football Network, and really, I mean, absolutely one of the best follows. But during games, recaps. Articles throughout the week and Twitter updates frequently, which is usually if I miss anything, I'm like, oh, just go straight to Anthony's feed because he had it. So appreciate it. Appreciate you coming on.
Just one quick thing.
Yes.
Saturday morning, my full game preview will be out with 5 crucial stats. That's what I've been doing this year for each game. Kind of 5 crucial stats on the matchup, 3 players to watch. So that'll be Saturday morning. Sunday morning will be the whole wide receiver situation, who I think might have a game depending on who's out. So look out for those on PFN if you can. So I appreciate you having me on.
Can I put you on the spot? And if you can't answer because it's going to be in that, that's perfectly
here we go.
Fine. Score predictions. Can we get that before you leave?
I haven't wrote one down yet, but I could freestyle one.
Okay. All right. Take your time. I won't rush you here.
No, yeah, we'll go. I'll use this one for my preview too. Eagles win. Eagles win.
Okay.
Let's go Eagles 23, Bucks 17.
All right. I like it.
I think that's fair.
Okay. Close game.
I think I might have used that same exact scoreline in the past, but hey, I'll stick with it.
That's fine. Yeah. I mean,
I can't. I'm not thinking of high scoring game because both offenses kind of sputtering right now. So 23-17 Eagles. We'll see.
Perfect. Okay. Well, I appreciate it again. I'm going 23. I think 23-20 is somewhere around there.
That's too close. Just give us a little bit of a cushion. We can relax a little bit. I'm not panicking with my post game report. Back to back weeks, I've had to like change everything.
Just modify it. Yeah. Scrap it all.
It's not that week 2 game. Oh man. Yeah.
It was a lot. It was a lot. All right. I'll let you go. I appreciate it, man. This was a blast.
Have a good night, everyone. Thank you for watching, and Josh is the best. Later, guys.
There you go. There he goes. The man himself, the legend, Anthony DiBona. Like I said, incredible follow. You guys know that. Pretty much everyone is already following, but in case you're not, you're missing out. While I was doing that, John, oh my gosh. Yeah, you got to be kidding me. Thank you so much. Wow, not necessary at all, but you were also the best. Man, the 50 bomb. Are you kidding? Happy birthday, Josh. Thanks for the awesome work you're doing. Appreciate you. Go Birds. Go Birds. Incredible. Yeah. And thank you. Yes, I'm seeing also finally everybody's comments. I'm 32. Yes. 32 years old. Sean's saying, okay, well, Sean's maybe one of the few that says that I believe 42, but I'm 32 years old, believe it or not. So it's strange, but that's where we're at. Thank you though, John. Very, very much appreciated. Also seeing some comments as far as the giveaway. The ticket giveaway did not happen yet, so I'm going to do that here in maybe 10 or 15 minutes. Let me get to some of these other comments. And there is the helmet has been given away. So just to confirm, some people are joining late. The white Eagles helmet there, Isaiah Rodgers signed helmet, is gone. Going to Cinda. And then we've got, let's see, 2 tickets from, why can't I remember actually what, I should be able to. What was the comment that I had people say for the game recap? I'll post it here so you have the link, but I can't remember now at this point. What was, I know the chat, y'all are on it. Y'all are going to be able to tell it. Hungry Dogs, that's it. Gosh, why could I not remember that? So yes, I will post this link here. And DiBona is spelled DIBONA. There you go. Charles is going with 52. Okay, well, I'm getting older. I'm getting older a lot quicker too. Yes, the video for the ticket giveaway is that one right there. There's the link. I just posted it. It's not in this chat here. No, this one was not the live. For the other one it was, but you got to go to that link there. You'll obviously leave the stream. You can come back, but go there, type in Hungry Dogs, and then show back up. We'll do the drawing here in maybe 5 or 10 minutes. Hopefully whoever wins is here. If they're not, then they'll have a week to claim it. If they don't, we'll show back up on another Friday night live stream, and I'll give it away to somebody else. So yes, I will link Anthony's Twitter as well. Let me do that. That's a good call. I'll have it back for people watching it back. It'll be in the description. I just didn't put it previously because I wasn't sure if Anthony was going to be able to join until last second. But there is Anthony's Twitter or X. So go give him a follow. Almost at 11,000. Deserves well more than that. Jorge, that's a good point. I should have gone with the code being muted. I thought about that and I decided maybe not. I don't know if everybody would have gotten that, or well, a lot of people would not. I should have probably. John saying 52 is the new 32. Okay, yes. Maxwell, the tickets are to any game that you want to go to. So here in the next 10 or 15 minutes, I guess 10 minutes now, we'll do that drawing. So whoever wins any ticket or any game you want to go to, 2 tickets. James, I've seen your comment here. Let's see. I got a jam just like Anthony, but make sure to shotgun a Dr. Pepper for your birthday and Baylor connection, just like the 2 Bears. Okay, yes. Thank you, James. Yes, good times. Tyler, I am confident this week in fantasy against you. Absolutely. Heck yeah. because actually, I don't know. I mean, it's been a little rough, quite honestly. It's been up and down, so I don't know. I feel like I'm just not the most confident in the team. Maybe it's just because the NFL's been a little unusual with positions and points and everything like that. I don't know. I thought I still think it's a decent team, but I thought I drafted a better one, and it's been, some ups and downs. Let's see. All right. Got those there. Again, appreciate Anthony for showing up. Well, Jorge, that's on you for telling your wife you already won the tickets. So if you don't win them, you're going to have to back out of that one. Apologies. That's not on me. Don't put that on me. Let's see. Yes, the shorts man. I posted the link. Here, I'll post it. I'll put it in the comments one more time. Hold on. I'll get it. And then we'll do the giveaway. Also, any Q&A for the last 10 or 15 minutes before we do this final drawing here also. Any last questions, comments, thoughts, score predictions? I did see a lot of those. I can get to those. All right, let's see. Okay, been updated. It's a link for the ticket giveaway. You will have to refresh if you're looking for it on the description, but there's the link as well that I'm just putting into the comments. So there you go. Christian, oh my gosh, the 50 bomb. Are you kidding me? Another one? Dude, thank you. Thank you so much. Happy birthday, Josh. Do you have a favorite baseball team? I'm a Phillies fan. I feel like they're going to choke in the playoffs again this year. Wow, thank you so much. I follow baseball decent. Honestly, well, I shouldn't even say decent. I will see a little bit of glimpses here and there, but it's not really until playoff time that I start following a team. So I really kind of just start rooting for the underdogs, if I'm going to be honest. So if I'm going to root for someone, it's the Rangers here locally, obviously being in Dallas. So when they went on the run for World Series, cheer for them. But when the playoffs actually start, I'll root for a bunch of different. I will not root for the Houston Astros, by the way. So I'm not going to root for cheaters. So apologies to anybody that may offend, but you can't do that, right? Like you gotta draw a line somewhere, and I feel like that's a decent one to draw on, at least as far as cheating goes. But I know there's some diehard Houston Astros fans that. That's fine, I suppose, but can't do that. Yeah, James can't do it either. So Sean's go Phillies. Yeah, I absolutely. I mean, I'll be cheering on Phillies for sure. So Maxwell Astros boo. I wonder if there's anybody on the chat that's even an Astros fan here. That would be kind of odd. John says, yeah, never for the Astros. There you go. Kramer, thank you for that. I appreciate that. That means a lot. Maxwell Boostros. Evan with the Go Flyers. There you go. Let's see. Good row or Johnny Wilson. This is the script says Astros hater since 2022. That's perfect. Are Johnny Wilson and Anaya Smith bust? That's obviously a troll. I mean, we're so early on in it. Like Johnny he's blocking, sometimes good, sometimes holding calls. Yeah, he needs to avoid that, but the physicality is there. It's very early on. If he ends up, improving that somewhat, and then you probably will see a little bit more action this week in the passing game. So no, I mean he's a rookie. He's played just a couple games, and then Anaya Smith. He's been on the IR. Like the Eagles stashed him there to be able to keep him so you didn't lose him and waive him of a situation like that. So, no, he's good. Both of them are fine. Anias was not great in camp. He did some things late, but I think that they still needed to, stash him with the IR because they believed him. So we'll see. All right, let's do the giveaway here. Let me make sure and get that teed up so I've got it all ready. Let's see. I think there's another. I'm a hockey fan, but similarly, like NFL, I'll watch and be a part of, obviously with the channel, but everything else. But like year round, basically for just coverage of wherever the NFL's at. All the other sports are kind of like hit or miss. Like playoffs, yeah, when it's intense, big game, everything, yeah, I'll absolutely get into it. But otherwise, I guess you call me a fair weather fan for those, I suppose. But if I'm cheering for one, Dallas Stars, I'll go with the Stars. All right, I'm gonna get this here set up. Okay. All right, we should have the video. Get in the comments now. This is, again, for 2 Eagles tickets of your choice. Frank, appreciate that. Just seeing that one. Sorry. The 5, thank you. Happy belated birthday, Josh. Appreciate all you do covering our birds. Fly, Eagles, fly. Thank you. Go Birds. Go Birds, man. Appreciate all you guys. Could not do this without y'all's support. So y'all are the best. This is what makes it. Quite honestly, the community feel of it, the hangouts, the live streams. Love making the videos and definitely the interaction for the comments and all that. But like, doesn't really substitute for the live stream. I don't know why I still have these on. Actually, I could have just taken them off, but Anthony was here, so let's take that off. All right, got the comment set up. Here we go. Good luck to everybody. Let me screen share, make sure I've got this so people can see it. And there we go. Good luck to everyone. 2 Eagles tickets of your choice. We will see. Savage, we did do the helmet giveaway already. That was to a live, someone on the stream live. This is just for the past video. So we'll see who it is. Hopefully it's someone live. It would be fantastic. It is Rafa Gutierrez, I believe, is how I would say that. Rafa Gutierrez 9935. Congratulations. Danny, you were already typing that up before I even stopped, I think. Saying rigged. Come on. You got to be kidding me. Rafa, congrats to you. You have won the giveaway to the tickets. Just let me know that it's you. Please contact me. Let me know. All you need to do is email me at the Philly Special Show at gmail.com. I need a screenshot of your profile and info. If you're watching the stream, that'd be great to get you doing that at the same time. But yeah, I need that just so that I can have the info. And I will I'll message you on the video. I will also send out to the community page. And so you'll have an update there, but then you'll have 1 week to claim it. If you do not, as everyone knows, then we will give it away to somebody on the live stream in a week, this next coming Friday. So hopefully you claim it, because someone did not claim the Isaiah Rodgers helmet, which is why we gave it away on the live stream tonight, which was a blast. So as Nick says, yeah, Rafa and Cinda have shattered my hopes and dreams. I'll never recover from this. Hopefully it's not that bad. Apologies for that. Dumiel, it's yeah, you're right. I'm sorry. It's rigged to my alternate account. That's true. I probably Oh my gosh, yes, all the 100%. Sean said 100% Rafa ain't claiming it. Maybe not. It's interesting. Sometimes we get these, sometimes not. Cranky, that's true. Yes, you need to convince the wife to make it account. Double your odds. Add another subscription as well. Oh, Maxwell, that's a good point too. We all know Rafa is secretly Thomas Mott. It could be. Yeah, if all of a sudden I'm seeing like a post or something from him of being in Philly, then we might have to do something like that. We check it out. Make sure he's not cheating the system. All right. I'm gonna do one or two more questions, then I'm gonna hop off here. Appreciate everybody hanging out, all the giveaway, everything else. Absolute blast. Got the game coming up. Should have another video probably dropping tomorrow as well. So stay tuned for that. Maybe an earlier one, but little preview for the game, everything else. Michael's asking about the early bye week. How do we feel about that? Early on, we all hated it, but now seems pretty good. I would agree. It definitely does. I was right there with everybody else. All things considered, kind of a blessing in disguise when we look at the injuries, because if, AJ doesn't even play and we play it safe with him, go into the bye week, get him healthy. Devontae's not playing because of the concussion. He can hopefully be fully recovered coming out of the bye week. Lane Johnson, same thing with the concussion. So hopefully everybody else is good and you can take advantage of that. We'll see. But yes, I definitely agree with the fact that it's probably a blessing in disguise. Let's see. One other. Tyler, how have I thought about Maddox after week 1? He's been better. Yeah. I mean, it's been fine. I think going into this game here, even with Tampa, I'm inclined to just the idea of Maddox still guarding Chris Godwin, because he's been like 70% of the time in the slot. So I think that if it's just a scary thought of doing that for Chris Godwin. So I would personally say that Q has the experience. He's shown that he can be locked down. Why don't you just say, all right, Q, hey, if he goes into the slot, you got Godwin. If he's outside, maybe he still has Godwin. I don't know. But in that situation, you put in, especially if you're going to play the nickel, then you play Isaiah Rodgers, get him on the field. He can be outside, as I was mentioning. But overall, he's been better. Trey, yes, I'm from Dallas. That's right. Reminder, too, for everybody. We're going to be streaming live for the game, during the game. So if you want to come hang out during the Eagles game, feel free to do that. Be a blast. Oh, no way, Trey. Frisco, Texas in the house. Heck yeah. Like, literally, I mean, like 40 minutes away. Born a Cowboy, die an Eagle. Let's go. Go Birds. Michael, thank you for the happy belated birthday. Happy belated birthday from several people. Thank y'all. Evan, I don't know where Hassan's going to end up. That is a very good question. I don't think it's going to be Philly, but hopefully I'm wrong. Hopefully I say that and then all of a sudden he comes back. That'd be cool. Alberto, you identify as Cinda and Rafa. Good for you. Kareem asking the question of how did I become a Eagles fan? I've talked about it a couple times, but I'll just mention it briefly. No worries, but I feel like most everyone's heard the story. But grew up in Dallas, family Cowboys fans, watching the Cowboys. They were never great, I mean, at least from what I can remember. Again, I'm 32, so you could do the math of who was good and what dates and everything else like that. Pickle Juice game is the biggest game that stands out in my mind, and that was kind of a turning point for me. I'm like, I don't have to be a Cowboys fan. Like, why? Just challenge the status quo. So became an Eagles fan and stuck with them ever since. So through thick and thin and everything else, play with them on Madden. Yeah, they're my squad. Been through it all. Brian Dawkins, Trotter, Deuce Staley, McNabb, Westbrook. Big Todd Pinkston fan. I know that's strange for some people. It's more so just because of the memories of seeing Todd Pinkston, probably not necessarily maybe some of the talent or ability, but just like remembering at that stage of life, I guess. And it was something that stood out. But yeah, There you go. Cranky Cletus, thank you. Thank you for the 10. Heck yeah. Said, had fun tonight. Great chat. Happy B-Day, Josh. Congrats to the winners. See y'all Sunday, 1 p.m. Night, everyone. Go Birds. Fly, Eagles, fly. Absolutely. All right. That's probably a good one to end on. Talk 215. Do you want to see Devin White get the start this week? Probably not. Probably not. I would love to see him be active. I probably don't want to see it immediately change because of how the defense played at the Saints. So if they had played poorly, I would say, yeah, sure, let's see it. But wouldn't mind seeing him active. And if he can get in some reps during the game, that'd be fine. But just something to get him out there on the field. It's just a very odd, strange situation. So we'll see. But like I said, video coming tomorrow. Little preview, what to expect for the game, everything else there. And obviously we will be live streaming the game on Sunday, probably going live like 12:45. It's usually like only 10 or 15 minutes before the game starts. But we will be there. Thank you guys. Michael, appreciate that. Yes, 75,000 subs and well beyond 76,000 now. Cannot believe that, quite honestly. But y'all are the best. Y'all make it happen. And until next time, you know what it is. Go Birds.